Hey there, Patriots. Hope you're doing well. Well, with Helldivers 2 being out for a while now, I've been wanting to make one of these discussion videos and talk about my thoughts on how I think Helldivers 2 could be a sign of good things to come, and how it also reveals the current state of gaming. Of course, this isn't the first time, nor will it be the last I make one of these videos, and I know lots of other content creators have been doing the same thing too. I guess, more or less, I too just want to shout my voice out into the sea in hopes that I might cause a wave. However, I don't think this video is going to be as negative compared to my other ones where everything just felt all doom and gloom. Because to be honest, I feel like we are starting to get back into that golden age of gaming. Now of course, realistically the game industry has always had at least one good game come out at least once a year. You had Red Dead 2 and God of War back in 2018. 2019 you had Sekiro, and though I personally don't care for it personally, but I know others do. You had Apex Legends, and I'm sure there were some good games in 2020 and 2021 that I can't really remember, though if there were, they were probably most likely indie games for me. But 2022 felt like the year when gaming was starting to come back with the release of Elden Ring, and probably some other double-layer indie games sprinkled in there as well. Then of course, in 2023, we got Baldur's Gate 3, the Dead Space remake, Hogwarts Legacy, even though I've never played it, Atomic Heart, Resident Evil 4 remake, Lethal Company, BattleBit Palworld, Peppa Pig World Adventures. Bruh. The list goes on and on, from AAA, AA, and indie. And now, to start us off in 2024, we got Helldivers 2. And I'm starting to notice a pattern here, and that pattern is that better games are starting to come out now. And mostly it's from the AA and indie side, with a few AAA games here and there. But don't get me wrong, there were still some stinkers last year, with Starfield the day before, and Redfall being the biggest examples I can think of. But the bright side about all this is that those are a small handful that I can vividly remember just being absolute dumpster fires. I'm sure there are many more that I'm either forgetting or just don't know about, but the thing is, it feels like we are starting to get somewhere. And I think with the success of Baldur's Gate 3, Lethal Company, and Helldivers 2, it's finally sending the signal to these companies that we don't want your half-baked garbage that's stuffed to the brim of microtransactions and all these stupid colorful goodies that you spend real money on that cost you more than a meal. Because to be honest, I don't care how much you support microtransactions, I'm sure we can all agree that the stuff we see nowadays in these terrible live service games has gotten out of hand and we're sick of it. When we spend money on a game, we just want to spend that money and have a good time. And we're finally starting to get to that point on the horizon where we can finally see the sun rise. And honestly, if nothing can come out this year to rival Helldivers 2, I can see it being a Game of the Year contender. And if it does, I think we can confidently say that the gaming world is finally heading in the right direction. Because it's no coincidence that 3 amazing games win Game of the Year in a row. Of course, we'll have to wait and see. To my knowledge, there's nothing I'm particularly excited for coming out soon except for Stalker 2 and the Elden Ring DLC, but I'm not really holding any hopes out for Stalker 2 to be released this year since the game has been delayed a few times. But for now though, I think I can say that Helldivers 2 will be keeping me busy for a while, especially with the mechs coming in soon. Pretty excited for those, and man, I'm so glad this game kicked off the way it did. I find it hilarious that Helldivers 2 continues to just dunk on everybody so far. The hilarious failure of Suicide Squad just proves my point that we are just sick of these terrible live service games that don't need to be live service. And I hope we continue this energy and continue to put those in business who deserve it and those who don't out of business. And don't think of this as me advocating for people losing their jobs, but at the same time, when you're a terrible company that continues to feed us garbage, we're going to get tired of it. And if you losing business just happens to be a result of that, then you have no one else to blame other than yourself. And look, I'm not a console wars person. I personally think the whole PlayStation/Xbox fanboys are cringe and morons, but I do kind of find it funny that PlayStation continues to just keep dunking on Microsoft when it comes to games recently, and Microsoft just continues to stand there like a deer in headlights. And I'm not sure if I'm correct on this, but apparently even Xbox fans have been wanting Helldivers 2 to come to Xbox. I'm not totally sure if it ever did or if it ever will, but again, it's kind of funny that Microsoft just continues to keep taking L's despite buying up all these companies. I mean, I hope Microsoft can deliver us some good games, but so far it seems as if they're incapable of doing so. Although I will say I'll never forgive Microsoft for canning a pitch by 343 to make a Halo game that would have been similar to Helldivers 2, and I'm so mad about that because when I first played this game, the first thing that came to my mind was that this would be a good Halo game. But no, for some reason Microsoft will just not allow for new Halo spin-offs to be made. It makes me angry. But anyway, I think that's going to do it for now, and before I go, let me know what you all think, and how much have you been enjoying Helldivers Helldivers 2. Do you agree with what I've said? Let me know your thoughts, and I shall see you when the next video drops.